This is advice to the youth. O dear Muslims, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us 60 years to live, it would mean that we lived for 22,000 days. This is 22,000 days that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us to prepare for one day of interview with Him. That of course is the day of judgment. On that day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us some questions and He wants some correct answers. We know Allah is the most merciful, so much so that He has already told us the questions that will be asked through the revelation in the Quran and a Hadith. His mercy is so great that even He told us the answers to these questions. Now can you imagine a student goes to write an exam. He then opens his exam paper and finds the questions on one side. Then he finds the answers to the questions on the other side. Now after writing the exam, if the student still fails, then what would we think of him? What would we think of him, the same student who had the questions in one side and answer on the other side, and yet he still failed? We would think that he is the dumbest person around. Well, to tell you the truth, on the day of judgment, the people who knew the questions and answers will still fail. That is why this is the time to wake up before we prove ourselves to the dumbest of the people and not be of those people who are not able to answer the questions asked of them. My brothers and sisters, youth is the prime time of our lives. This is where people make important decisions like what to become in the future. Things you do in this time will most likely affect you throughout the rest of your life. That is why it is important to bring Islam into your life during these days. Many people have the conceptions that when they get old, then they will start practicing Islam. Many people think that they got so much time left in their life, that why waste the youth, the young age, in worshipping? Why waste that time going to the masjid? Why waste that time reciting the Quran? Rather, they want to leave it there towards a later life when they will have more time to relax and rest and do ibadah. This is very foolish. I'm sure many of you and myself have probably had the same feeling. But let's look at it this way. If you want to become a famous football player, then you would start playing right from the youth. You would not be a 30-year-old starting your football academy. As you grow up, you will become better and better at football if you were to start off at a very young age. But you'd be foolish to think that you will start off playing football amazingly at an old age. Therefore, the chance of you becoming a famous football player would virtually be zero if you were to start off practicing football at a very old age. That, in fact, is a reality. When we become old, we won't have the energy, the desire, or the motivation to even stand up and pray. Ill health might fall upon us. Our limbs will get weaker and older. Our knees, our shoulders, our back will hurt when we stand up or will kneel down for prayer. My dear Muslims, because youth is the prime time of your life, that is why it is very precious to Allah. Allah has prepared a shade on the day of judgment for those people who used to worship Him in their youth. There will be among the people a certain kind of people who will have all their sins shaded up on that day. They will look around and think, hang on a minute, I had so much sins, where are they all now? I don't see any of them. But verily it is Allah who has hidden, shaded all their bad deeds, for they were the people who grew up from the youth in worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On that day there will be no other shade except the shade from the throne of Allah. Imagine standing outside a very hot, dry day under the sun for hours after hours. You would definitely want some shadow to rest under. But what about the day when the sun will be much nearer to us and the heat will be much more extreme? Wouldn't you want some shade on that day? Of course you would. You and I are all weak in terms of keeping our duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is aware of that. Allah wants to keep watching to see us trying to do our best. Allah loves the one that turns back to Him. Allah loves the one that sins and asks for His forgiveness. Allah would rather have someone who's sinned and asks for forgiveness than someone who does not sin at all. How very Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. Allah always wants us to keep trying our best. If a baby falls down while walking, he tries to get up and walk again. We should be like God. We should never give up. If we're lacking in our iman, if we're lacking in our salah, if we're lacking in our ibadah, we should try harder. Furthermore, the baby, he doesn't keep sitting down, he keeps trying walking again and again. Then a day comes when the baby is finally able to stand up and walk. Similarly, we should keep trying our best and not give up. A day will come when Allah will come running towards us because we went running towards Him in seeking His forgiveness, in seeking His mercy. Inshallah, then a day will come when we will be strong enough to obey Allah in every situation. In anything we do, our iman will be so high, our tawakkul will be so high, that anything that befalls us will not deter us from being steadfast in worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything bad happens to us, we'll say Alhamdulillah, because we know whatever happens, happens for the best. We know that whatever has happened was meant to touch us, and whatever has not touched us was meant to miss us. Not a leaf falls, but Allah has the knowledge of it. So whatever happens is a decree of Allah, and when we understand this, when we have that level of iman, nothing can happen and make us feel sad, because we will become content. We will become content in the decree of Allah. We will be so close to Allah that any questions that will be asked in the day of judgment, we will be able to answer because of our iman, because of our closeness to Allah. And we will not be that dumb guy who will fail in the test on the day of judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us all. Ameen.